Hello. It's been a while. You join me here with Edward. Say hello.
We're back! We're
It's
back.
been a hot minute.
An incredibly hot minute, dude. We would have been back sooner, but it's a long story. Like, my cat stole my computer. He literally, we had to go on a Mission Impossible style mission for like an entire year, globe-trotting explorers, to wrangle that little rascal down and get my computer back. But we have returned at last, at long last, the greatest return that nobody asked for.
I know everyone. I think more people are excited for the return of SSOC, but we'll get to that
At
some point.
some point, indeed. Yeah, nobody was. I don't think anybody was. No tears were shed when we dropped off the face of the earth.
But they will be. They will be when we come back in full force with Series 8.
Indeed.
We're just waiting on your lines now, Edward. As a matter of fact.
I know. I saw that Dax finally did his. I was like, damn. I didn't think it was gonna happen.
I know, and that's the funny thing. When I was setting up the stream, I came across this from an older one. And the fact that he's finally done it is exciting.
Yeah, when I joined, I saw the tag on the screen was. It must have been a joke from one of the old streams. It was the building up of, if you build up the saliva, then the Edward will choke.
Oh yeah, this.
Yeah. Build up the moisture in the mouth, and the Edward will choke.
the things we got up to.
Yeah, exactly. I've forgotten the context to that.
And, I don't know, but I mean you'll have to watch all the streams again.
I do pull them up sometimes, just just because I was thinking the other day, or well, not just the other day, but honestly, several times throughout the year that we've been not doing these, where I'm I remember being a little bit off the rails, a little bit uncontained, and a little bit, maybe a little bit, saying some stuff on these streams, then I might come to regret later on. So I got to go back and make sure I didn't say anything too, too reputation shattering. And of course, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to stop straying into that sort of territory. I just, might as well at least be aware of the dumb shit I say. Oh wow, I'm so glad to be back. I missed this.
I'm just sending this to the old TWA Trainz group chat.
Blowing dust off of a coffin.
Oh, I know. I went through it the other day and I was like, I can't believe this thing still exists. I didn't even know. I thought it had been lost to time, but no, it's still alive and kicking on the website.
We're to a point where we've been doing this for so long, or in the sense of just I've been on the internet so long and I've known you and the others for so long that I kind of forgot meeting you. I sort of forgot how it happened. I forgot how I joined the SSOC team. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure what happened was I was talking to Dax, or Cameron or somebody. I think it was Dax though, and he just randomly invited me to the Hangouts group where one of your meetings, one of your staff meetings was happening, and I just joined the call and sat in on it. And I think I helped you maintain order because everybody was being really rowdy and talking over you, and myself and the one who shall not be named were trying to maintain order. But yeah, that was wow.
Sorry, just to break for a second.
Yeah, go on.
In the TWA Trainz server, I went to send the link to the stream, and I hit hey everyone, like, to at everyone.
Mhm.
And it said, by using this tag, you're about to mention well over 100 people, whatever it says. And I was like, hell yes, I want to know, let them know we're back.
Yeah, gotta get you gotta get every last one of them. They all need to know that the great Ben and his associates have returned.
Right.
It's like
Trainz
really
is just
depressing,
loading.
Thomas and Friends.
I
Instead of
feel like
Thomas and
it's the
Friends.
appropriate time for
Sorry.
a tour because there's nobody here asking questions.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta do something that doesn't require any audience participation.
There we go. I'm slowly figuring out how to use all these stream systems again.
I know, like, I signed into like my StreamYard account, and of course, blow the dust off of it, of course, and like that like I got like a pop up of like all the features that they've added to StreamYard, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I know. It's like a whole 2 years worth of upgrades.
Yeah, I know. Like I remember. I'm pretty sure. Now I could very well be wrong, but I think StreamYard, like when like we all started using it, was kind of new-ish because like
It was a very like basic, brand new program.
yeah, it was very primitive. But now they're like, it's getting really good. Like I'm glad I was an early. I'm glad we were early adopters of it because it's like it was kind of like rudimentary, and I remember that we all were sort of forced to use it after like the Hangouts live streaming thing died.
Mm.
But like now, like
I forget.
StreamYard is sorry.
I forget Hangouts live streaming was a thing.
I know, right? It's one of those things that like we were so dependent on it, and then it just disappeared, and we were like, oh god, no, what are we gonna do now? And we were all forced to move to something else, and then it's like, and then like we ended up forgetting about it entirely. Like it's in along the same vein of like the YouTube messaging system. Remember back when YouTube had messages?
Mm.
Oh god, yeah. I remember.
Well, that was actually how I met Cameron, Dax, Scotty, Eddie, and then I think, did you join us for like the last week it was around before we moved to Hangouts?
Yeah, I remember I was in. There were groups on there. Yeah, I think. Were there groups? I'm pretty sure there were groups on YouTube messages because I remember
That
like.
was, I think it was was it 2018 or 29? No, it was 2019 they got rid of that.
Yep. But yeah, I remember when I was like very, very young and very, very stupid, like, and I wanted to like connect with the community. There's probably a lot. I'm kind of glad they shut it down, to be honest, because I know there's like a ton of really stupid messages that I sent out to like every Thomas YouTuber with like a similar subscriber count to me, being like, "Hey, dude, you want to do a collaboration on a review or something?" So I maybe it's I'm kind of glad that those are terminated because I feel like I looked like an idiot. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the YouTube messaging system was premium. I wish it was still around because sometimes you see a creator on YouTube and you're like, oh yeah, wait a second, me and this dude, we're like the same, but we like make the same kind of content. We're kind of similar in size. We make like really obscure videos about like the same stuff. I should reach out to this dude and say hi. Like I always think about that whenever I meet somebody who does like history content and country content as well as like trains. Because every now and again I come across some dude like that and I'm like, oh my god, wait, this dude is interested in two of the exact same strange niches that I'm interested in, and he has a YouTube channel based on it. We would be like best friends. But then there's like no way to to reach out to somebody privately because like there's YouTube comments, but then you just look like an idiot. Even more of an idiot than if you embarrass yourself in YouTube messages back in the day.
Oh no, it's amazing how like how everything started with that, and then we pretty much outlived it really. But then Hangouts came along, more stuff happened.
And then we
Then
outlived
everyone
that
just
too.
migrated to Discord after a while.
Discord or Skype. Pretty much everybody that I know from Hangouts either uses Discord or Skype now.
I know, and the funny thing is, I stopped using Skype long before I started using Hangouts. And then everyone went to it, and I was like, well, I used it first, but all right.
Well, it's because Skype is just like the original like internet messaging software, basically, or at least like one of the first ones that like combined calling and messaging and like groups and stuff. Like Skype has been around for so long that my parents used to use it. That's how you know something's old. And especially considering my parents are old as like people's grandparents, that's crazy.
All right, here we go. We've got the rake of coaches lined up.
Slightly triggered about that one BR Blue coach at the end, just interrupting the nice line, but you know.
Oh no, just your average Heritage Railway set. I also downloaded these really bad looking coaches on the download station.
Yeah, why did they look so gross?
So I'll be deleting them at some point. So I went back to my good old friend EDH6 and downloaded some more of his stuff.
Those ugly coaches kind of look like something that you'd find at the bottom of your grandmother's ashtray.
Oh, one thing.
Side note: anybody ever go to like your grandmother's house and then she has like colored rocks in a glass container by the window for no reason?
Right, hang on. What Duchess do we want? Do we want the BR Duchess or the two red ones, post or pre-war?
Pre-war.
The pre-war Duchess actually looks really nice. There we go.
Yes.
But the thing is, do we want to use it on the main line or do we want to take one of these other engines?
Duchess is the largest and it's the most interesting colored, so therefore she's the best, so we'll take her.
It's also fun to drive as well. It's a lovely engine to drive. Downloaded some new wagons as well, by the way. You might recognise these ones as well, these vans.
Mm.
And then I've got some conflats.
They're really well textured. Oh my god.
Yeah, look. They're very high quality. Like that's what I'm trying to do now. Now that I've got a computer that can actually run high quality stuff, I'm only interested in getting high quality stuff now.
He's moving up.
I downloaded some really nice ones as well, which I used to have ages ago. There we go.
Those flatbeds be looking like the Oreo thins in my pantry, though. I'm just kidding. I'm not a loser. Who buys Oreo thins? Like I get you want to know why Oreo thins exist as a product? Because no normal person is going to buy them. You're going to buy regular Oreos. Because like why would you buy that? It is literally just an excuse to sell less product for the same price. Why would you buy Oreo thins? Because literally 2 Oreo thins, like if you're going to eat 4 Oreo thins in one sitting, you might as well just eat 2 Oreos. Like the only reason why Oreo thins exist as a product is just to like market and advertise to like middle-aged women who want to look like body conscious and watch their weight, but actually just like they want to feel like they're like making a difference, but they also just want to consume their food. That's the only reason why they exist, because it looks like you're getting something healthier and like it's like good for you, but like it's still Oreos. Like
yeah, regardless of like what shape or size, it's still the same ingredients.
Exactly. It's the same ingredients, just in a lesser serving size, which in the end is just an excuse for the company to sell less product for the same price anyway, and take advantage of quote unquote body conscious people. But like, yeah, exactly. It's like if you're gonna eat 4 of them in one sitting, you just eat 2 regular Oreos and you're fine. It's just such a weird. It's just a weird product concept to me.
See this
And then
class 03 here?
sorry, you're saying, yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Well, this used to be like my favourite shunting engine for the railway.
No way!
And
Stop! Hold the phone. Hold on. We've got a human being in the chat.
oh, we do?
Yeah,
Just
Crimson
in time? Just in time
J21.
for the big shunt?
How's route
Hello,
building
Crimson
been going?
J21. How are you? I haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, route building's been going great, honestly. Like I've made tons of progress to the route, which is what I'm about to showcase when we get this train moving. Yeah. Yeah, this class 03 was one of my favourite go-to shunting engines because look how, realistic it looks. But there's just something very nice about it. But I thought I'd lost it, in the big move of everything. And I had to resort to this from the download station, which did its job for, all of one day until I found that I did actually have the file for it. But,
Yeah, the other one just looks more appealing. I don't know why. For some reason, like in comparison, the one on the right just kind of looks like, well, it looks like expired milk.
yeah. But that's why I like this one, because it feels like something a Heritage Railway would take pride in having.
Indeed. Like, there's something about your eyes that just want to look at that for some reason.
Yeah. All right, let's get this train moving because we're going to be late for the first train. Speaking of which, I'm going to be following the timetable, so I'm going to have to actually set the time to be a bit earlier than this. There we go. So we've got 20 minutes to get the first train ready. Can we do it?
We're gonna find out. Also,
I've
please
also
ignore my
devised a
dogs if you
new.
hear them in the background.
I've devised a new shunting move, basically, because I realised how stupid it was having this engine push the whole train up the line to the station when there's the level crossing and everything. So, I mean, I technically should be on this track, but oh well. Doesn't really matter. They all go back into the same line anyway. So instead of that, basically the idea is now to have the shunting diesel, the 03, bring the coaches just past this bridge. And in the meantime, the engine crew would have the engine ready. So, I mean, normally in steam engine operation, we'd technically already be over here, on the fueling line. So technically. Oh, just give me a second.
Oh, he's gone. What should I say? I'm alone and I could say anything.
All right, where was I?
Fucker.
Yeah, so, so normally the engine would already be on the Holling fueling line like this. And then the crew. This is how we do it at the depot on the Heritage Railway I work at. Especially when we have the 2 train days with 2 steam engines, we have the diesel We have a crew take the diesel to shunt all the coaches onto the line, and then the steam engines will take it in turns to use the fueling line.
Never noticed how big the boilers were on the Duchesses.
I know, I was thinking that the other day. Right, do we want to hear a blow of the whistle?
Definitely.
If you couldn't
yes.
hear that, I'll tell the game sound out.
I've heard that loco sound reused on 1,000 engines.
You know, this actually is a payware model as well.
Wait, I swear I've heard that sound before. It's like on like every engine.
Yeah, I think Wild in the West used it on a model or two. The sound itself isn't actually payware, but the loco is.
I see. I mean, I'm sure there's only a decent number of like, actually high quality usable recordings of engines blowing their whistles without any other audio obstructions that you could use. Probably gonna have like very, very specific conditions to actually turn it. Oh, okay. Wait, hang on. I gotta drop this link. We gotta drop the link to Cameron. Cameron is literally playing Trainz right now.
Yeah, he said he might join. I already asked him.
He needs to join. I'm gonna get him in. Hang on.
So yeah, we'll get this train moving now. So as you can see, the Duchess is going to run tender first, just to the station. But this is actually quite useful for us because it means we don't have to take her onto the turntable line. Whereas normally when I start trains up in the morning, I've usually got the engines facing the other way. But honestly, it doesn't matter. Also, you may notice anyone who's seen the older route videos that the turntable was made of brick. Now it's not. Because I actually went out and got a 80-foot turntable instead of the 72-foot one that I've got. So the Duchess is actually able to use my turntable. I've got one at each end of the line now. But I didn't do it just for the Duchess because the N15 King Arthur, whatever it is over there, couldn't actually use the turntable because of its extra set of wheels on the tender, which was really infuriating. So that has been rectified now. There you go. Just look at this site here. Just typical Heritage Railway things. We've got the DMU, track work crew, coaches. And if we were running 2 trains, I would definitely get these coaches out with the N15 because I love the whistle on this thing. And I love the N2 as well. Anyway, back to the Duchess because we've got to actually get some work done because we've got a train to meet very soon.
The N15's whistle literally sounds like a scream. Like I can hear the force of like 1,000 souls of the era it was built screaming out of the whistle. It's
I know it was
epic.
technically cheating just moving the engine over, but that was the track we were supposed to end up on anyway. So. Anyway, so new things quickly.
Honestly, you did the motion so quickly I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't said anything.
No, yeah. Anyway, got this new dock track. Well, I say new, old dock track.
New old.
Yeah, recently been added. And I just thought, because my granddad actually suggested putting a signal box there. And I was like, well, hang on, I've got a signal box over in the yard. So I moved it here because it makes more sense to be like the entrance point to the yard for the station. And also, I then use the extra space to put a dock line in, which fills up the space a lot better, rather than just having it be an empty strip of grass. Added some more water. The waterfront's got a little bit of a beach. Bridge over to the staff parking lot for the yard. And it just feels a lot nicer to be here. But also you've got just got a little sneak peek at the town there. Have a look at that. It's actually a town here now.
Instead of just empty space.
Some of the track's still in like really shoddy condition, obviously, but that's to be expected. There's the new turntable. Blow the whistle because of level crossing.
Crimson J21 again says, what region is this route based in?
Sorry?
Crimson J21. Crimson J21 asks, what region is this route based in?
Well, it's technically UK, but it's on my own fictional island. Just so the geography doesn't have to match 100%, if that helps. So it's technically United Kingdom. Also, this camera spot there that we were just in, I've actually put a guy here, so it's like you're viewing it from his perspective. Got the track work crew still hard at work on the rusted, bent out of shape track. Station's had a bit of an upgrade. We've got a hotel, the old railway hotel's here now. Got a church, some housing, shops. Going to be more housing eventually. But I just really like this sort of like look we're going at the minute. Now this is a tricky platform because as you can see we don't want to foul the points there, so we actually have to bring the train right to this stopping marker here, and I might have just gone a little bit too far by taking the time to demonstrate that, but basically as long as we are on wherever it is, as long as we are on this side of this marker here, we will not be fouling the points. So that's something to watch out for whenever you're driving on this route, is that you cannot go past that line despite there being a platform all the way along there. And this is fine for like excursion trains that need to be longer, because usually you'd have the engine back down on there and have a dedicated shunting engine or two pull the train in. But for standard day out trains on the Heritage Line, you're only allowed 6 coaches maximum, just to make it easier for shunting and everything. Like that's basically your limit on the line. So obviously just watch out, but this usually isn't a problem on the charter days, like special excursion trains when you have more coaches, because you'll have dedicated shunter engines. This is new. If I can stop in time before the buffers. There we go, skilled driver, look at that. This used to just be a wide open field. And then, yeah, I've just, over the last 3 days, I've just added in all this extra stuff just to make it feel like the end of the line. So we've got a bit of an old water tower here. Some sleepers, a little bit of a container industry, another industry there. And the history of this line was that originally they planned, before World War II, they planned to extend the line up into the hills. But then, obviously, World War II happened, everything declined shortly after, and this warehouse was built in the 60s, and then they just gave up entirely. So the line never actually extended beyond this point, in case you were wondering why the track ends abruptly at the road. This was originally the terminus, regardless. So they just had it in their heads for a future extension, and it never happened. I do need to fix this camera angle as well, because I forgot the footbridge was in the way when I set it up. How's the frame rate? Because
it's actually really good.
Is it? Is actually not bad?
Well, at least it's coming through on like the StreamYard thingy really well. I'll check it on the live stream.
Oh, good, because the thing is, this laptop actually has like a built-in like stream thing, so it's actually good for streams. So I should expect a high-quality frame rate, unlike the Mac which I had.
Yep, it's actually it's coming through really well on the stream.
Awesome. yeah, we had a lot of complaints over the last couple of streams that we did over, years ago, that it was very laggy. And even on the last episode of the Holling Vale Heritage Railway that we did, there was lots of complaints that the route was too big, making everything look laggy. But no, it isn't. It's just actually I needed a decent computer. There we go, coupled up. So this is looking nice. This second platform is maintained purely for aesthetic purposes, except on the the 3 train days even, when a DMU set or loco with only 2 coaches can use this bit of the platform. But until this bit of the track is restored, there's just nothing for this platform to really do other than be there. And there's a few people over there, and I have got it set up as an actual Trainz loading platform. But I've only limited it to 2 people, so it looks like they're just watching the train. But it can be configured for more people. There's nothing else over that side yet, not finished any of that. I am happy with the town as well, though. It's definitely going quite well. And it's funny because one morning I pulled a train into the station, looked around and went, I'm so sick of seeing nothing. And by the next day I'd built all of this, and it gives new meaning to the town just popped up overnight, because it literally did. But yeah, so some more details about this route. It's well, I'll just check firstly. Edward, are you still there?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I'm not talking over you, am I?
No.
Oh, right, cool.
I just, I usually sort of just end up derailing the stream talking about random stupid stuff, and this at the end of the day, this channel is for railway business, so I was kind of leaving you to explaining the area. I mean, you built it, not me, so.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, thank you. Yeah, so this route is set in, the late 90s, so, anywhere from about, I reckon 1993 to 1998 is when I'm sort of basing this route around. So there's nothing too modern, but there's definitely examples of the heritage line still functioning, because heritage railways have been around since, look at the Tallyclin, they've been around since the 50s. So, there's always been heritage railways. Well, there's been a lot of them by this point in time that this is set. So this is just another heritage railway, really, but it's a nice one, and I like that it's, I haven't set it in purely the modern day, but I've given myself room to breathe with how I build things. So, a lot of the architecture around here is based on Victorian era stuff anyway, so there's only industries like this one at the end of the line that are a fair bit newer.
You think the Tallyflin folk are psychics or something? Because think about it, they made a preservation railway long before it was actually something that you would expect. Yeah, exactly. Before it was cool. Do you think that they knew with psychic abilities that steam was going to be butchered and needed to be preserved? Because think about it, preserving a steam railway in the 50s sounds like a stupid idea, because you can just go to the local big station and see the engines excuse me, and you could see the engines at work there. So it seems kind of stupid to make a designated preservation railway to come see steam engines, unless there was a time traveler amongst the founders of the Tallyclin Railway. Or, well, not the founders of the railway, but the founders of the Preservation Society, who told them that it was going to be madly profitable. And then, in 100,000 years, when we invent time travel, it's going to be revealed that the entirety of the Tallyclin Railway was actually just a money laundering scheme in the future, of a get-rich-quick scheme of some dude who, think about it, some dude in the future who was the sole benefactor of the profit of the Tallyclin Railway, who realized, wait a minute, I could make like a ton of bank if I like break into Area 51, steal their prototype time machine, go back in time, and then tell them beforehand that, you know, steam is going to go extinct. So that way they could preserve it and make the railway infinitely more profitable than it otherwise would have been in their timeline. These are the questions that need to be asked, my friends. These are the mysteries of railway preservation that need to be discussed. Train of thought, please hit me up. We can do a collab. I'm just saying. It is possible.
All right, there we go. I programmed this DMU to run a service for me, basically, from the other end of the line. So that means we'll eventually have to pass it. And if I've got my scheduling all right, we should pass it at Pleisley, which is the next station along the line. So, right, I have noticed something interesting looking at the YouTube playback. It is falling behind a fair bit. I've only just arrived at the other end of the line on the current stream, and we're back here now, but that's fine.
It'll catch up, especially because, I mean, like, the stream delay might be kind of bad, but, like, the FPS and, like, the quality of it seem to be good on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, it's running just fine, honestly.
It's buttery smooth.
I'm actually glad this is actually working, and it's very high quality. So it was definitely worth getting this laptop, I think.
Indubitably.
So, we'll get going in just a minute. I reckon, I mean, we are scheduled for a 10 o'clock departure, but do you think we could get away with doing 9:58, Mr. Guard?
Probably.
All right, there we go. True Guard there, everyone.
What do I look like, a railway employee to you?
Well, the signal's green, so I guess they won't.
You know what? That's good enough authorization for me. If the signalman says it's okay, I mean, gun it.
There we go. Obviously, following all the line speed. I'm just going to turn the sound up a little bit as well.
Sorry, gun it as hard as legally as the law provides.
So something interesting about the cab view on this model is that the name is shown on the right side where the fireman is, but not on the left side where you'd be driving it from. So
what?
That's a little. It's a tad odd.
That's so weird.
It's me.
Oh my god, it actually kind of is. Oh wait, no, that guy has a rockin' mustache. Can confirm that you do not have a rockin' mustache, but you could get a rockin' mustache.
Okay, got a little bit of a walking trail here.
Also, I refuse to be the other guy. He's ginger. I am no Irishman.
These track crews have been working so hard, they've been frozen for years.
We work all day, we work all night. We never
just look at this. Look at this
shot.
Look how awesome that is.
That does look epic. With the unpaid indentured servants working on the line side. You gotta say that on YouTube these days because YouTube doesn't like the other word.
There you go. There's the level crossing. Not the level. Well, this is the level crossing, but there's the turntable line, which we'll be using on the next journey.
Actually, you could probably you could get away with it if you label the stream as an educational stream. You can really get away with anything. Because like a lot of YouTube's community restrictions are basically like you can't do this, and this unless you're doing it for educational purposes. So I mean, and since the education the tag is basically just something you can slap onto any video, you can really just use it to bypass a bunch of YouTube's rules. But like obviously you didn't hear that from me, and you can't really abuse that otherwise. Like, if too many people do it and it becomes, like, broadly well-known information, then YouTube is just gonna... Well, actually, I take that back. YouTube isn't gonna update the policy, but, like, somebody's going to sue YouTube, and then they're going to update the policy. Because that's always how it happens. Is basically YouTube has a policy that's easily exploitable, and then everybody starts exploiting it, and then it becomes common knowledge that it's being exploited to a point where YouTube can't really ignore it anymore, and they have to acknowledge it. But then they still don't do anything about it because they're trying to protect free speech and like individual rights. But then somebody ends up suing YouTube on it, and then they have to, ruin all our lives. I mean, that's basically what happened with like the Made for Kids thing. And everybody was like dunking on YouTube, saying it was their fault. But like, YouTube is like, I can't believe I'm about to defend YouTube and their staff. But like, you kind of do have to really defend them for a second because like they did like everything in their power to ignore like all of the Made for Kids like dangers and stuff like that. Like there are legitimate concerns that like caused the Made for Kids stuff to happen, like for the protection of young people on the internet. And like for example, like to give it like a precise example of what I'm talking about is like the Made for Kids thing was basically like the problem of like underage children like lying about their age on YouTube and then getting exposed to like really really bad content. Some content, not just like stuff that isn't good for them, but like also content that was like made with the intention of being predatory on like children. Think like the Elsa Gate content and like the like Huggy Wuggy and like like using licensed characters in really inappropriate ways to make generally harmful content to push onto children, to push like whatever narrative that these people are intending to. It's really bad stuff. But then of course you have the more innocent problems of children just faking their age to get access to content that is not appropriate for their age. And so you have this problem, and it's very widely known that children are doing this. And eventually it gets to a point where it's too much for YouTube to ignore. And then it's like, well, do they make the change? So they say, YouTube doesn't want to make this change because doing that protects people, like, for example, people like us who are not actually doing anything malicious. And it's not our intention to, do this sort of thing. But like when not viewing things under a microscope, using licensed like children's characters to push or well to like discuss really we'll say like not child appropriate themes, i.e. like using Thomas characters in like you know third party scenarios like in more serious storylines, like darker storylines. It does kind of look similar. Like you can sort of understand the confusion there between those sorts of content. And YouTube aren't stupid. Like they're aware of this discrepancy and those differences in that content. But it's really really hard to make laws and or sorry, really hard to obey laws that prohibit certain uses of things when the lines are blurry like that. And it's even harder to make rules that are going to specifically filter that sort of content. So you end up with YouTube like holding off until the last minute to make a decision. And then finally the hammer struck down because like I was saying, eventually you get to a point where there are so many people that are abusing this exploit, like this loophole, that it becomes common knowledge that people are doing this, and therefore YouTube no longer has an excuse to not do anything. And then somebody sues YouTube, and then their hands are tied with the law. They're forced to make that. They are literally forced to make that change. Like people were getting really mad at YouTube for the Made for Kids thing, and I get mad at them too, especially when some stupid bot that doesn't know anything about like the discrepancies and the differences between content that is intentionally harmful and then content that is just people trying to like tell stories and like do good, at least like not cause harm.
Oh, hang on a sec. Look, there's the other train. There you go. Sorry to interrupt you, Edwin.
No worries.
There we go.
It's cool to like see like the world like be like vibrant with like other engines going.
We'll just quickly change over to the other side of the cab. There we go.
Sorry for getting going on like long-winded. Like nobody cares about this stuff. I just.
I mean, I've slightly overshot the platform in my excitement, but you know, I swear I'm not normally like this. I usually that guy's overshot the platform as well. It's not just me.
and that's both drivers were like, "Oh, another engine!" Pulled out their iPhones and started recording.
I mean, to be fair, I did that, you know, on the one of the 2 train days that we did on the Heritage Railway I work at. For those who don't know, we were doing a 2 train day with 2 steam engines, and we pulled into the middle station, and you know, I saw it in the distance coming in on the main, and we were on the passing loop. So I stood on the end deck just behind our engine and filmed the other engine going past us. I've just realised I've also overshot a red signal. I should really be fired, shouldn't I?
Perhaps. Just make sure that your bosses at the Heritage Railway don't see this.
Oh no.
It'll really squander your upward mobility within the company.
I know, nobody saw that. I do need to change the points. There we go. Now the signal's green. That's all I was waiting for. There we go. Let's get out of here. Let's hope some of these cars stop at the level crossing as well, because this is a difficult one, because nobody in this town cares about rail safety. It's clear. And every time a car looks like they're not going to stop.
Actually, that kind of reminds me of another fictional island in the Irish Sea that I know.
Sorry?
I said that kind of reminds me of another fictional island in the Irish Sea that I know of, but I can't really put my finger on the name. You know, an island of people who don't give a shit about railway safety.
These guys are like, damn it, we wanted to jump in front of the train. There's the main line down there.
They were leaping with excitement.
That's one of the other cool shots on this line I really like, just seeing the modern day main line over there.
Damn. Crimson J21 says, Crimson J21 said, it is a very nice shot. But you said that back when you were pulling away from the station initially with the indentured servants on the side of the line.
Oh yeah, no, I just figured when I got the camera set up, I was like, what looks like the coolest shot? And I actually took inspiration from the terminus station on Hull Heritage Railway, in which you can stand right next to the track from a viewing line, like a viewing path, basically, and you can just witness the engines just, you know, going past you, and it's so cool. And so I took inspiration from that. There's a lot of inspiration on this line from the Heritage Railway that I work on.
Do you also have unpaid indentured servants working on the line side at the railway?
Yes.
Oh, dang, that's crazy. I thought
They're called our track maintenance team.
Dang, I thought they outlawed that stuff in Australia a couple of years ago. That's pretty cool.
There you go. Look at this. I mean, it'll look nice on the scenery.
Yeah, this particular part of the line is a little bit bare on the line side details.
This is the kind of shot I like seeing the full train of coaches behind you.
Crimson J21 also says, I love using the SI3D sound effects to make the world feel more alive with sound, which I was late in the reading of that. He said that one when I said that seeing the other engines going makes the world feel more alive.
Oh, yeah, no, I would use SI3D effects, except, you know, it's going to be a payware route when I release it.
And then he also says, Crimson J21 says, in my company, if you spad, you lose your license for 6 months and have to go through training again. But that's if the reason isn't too major. I think he means if you speed, but slight typo.
No, it's a SPAD. It's a SPAD incident. Signal passed at danger.
Oh, I see. SPAD. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. You know, there is a loophole. I didn't actually SPAD. I stopped well before I passed the signal.
You didn't actually spat. That is so fun. Sorry, spat sounds like it. That sounds like something way worse than it is.
Oh, here we go. This is the remains of the only station on the line that wasn't preserved. And that was the remains of the only station on the line that wasn't preserved. Goodbye.
Wow.
All
They
right, I
call
think
it
I'm just gonna have to go get my charger quickly because there's lag issues now because the laptop's about to die.
They call it algae junction. I don't know why.
Edward, just keep an eye on the engine. If there's any problems, stop the train. Okay, bye.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Passengers. Yeah, this thing's a runaway now. Yeah. Yeah, I got no control. So before we all meet our imminent demise, it would be really, really swell if you could all pull out your phones, go to the App Store, download the YouTube app, sign in there, make an account, search up the Blue K2 on YouTube, and then subscribe to that YouTube channel really quick. Then turn off your phones, or better yet, throw them out the window so that way you cannot call for help. And that way, we don't have to deal with the legal repercussions of this. We can, write off the disappearance of everything, pick up the insurance claim, and then we'll all be good. Fine and dandy.
All right, I have returned with the charger, and then I'm going to have to make a quick bathroom break when we get to the station.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Crimson J asks if there's any request stops on the line. There isn't, but eventually when I do the present day version of the route, that old station that we passed will be restored. And I'll have to draw up a brand new timetable for it.
I just saved the railway hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. You're welcome.
But it will be a request stop as well. It won't be a stopping station because it's only one platform, one way. So it'll only be a request stop in one direction. Right, here's another favourite bit of the line. I really love this viaduct.
Viaducts are just awesome, no matter what way you slice it. They're just cool. The bigger the viaduct, the cooler. The taller the viaduct, the cooler. The wider the viaduct, the cooler. The more viaduct the viaduct, the cooler it is.
The more viaduct the viaduct, the viaduct.
Viaduct is one of them words that if you say it way too many times, it just stops sounding like words.
And here we go into the station. Welcome to Trillbrook Junction, with its very own Pepsi machine. Now, the track work has had a bit of, work on it. There used to be just a bit of straight track, which if the smoke gets out the way, there used to be a bit of straight track along there, where you can still see the mark from it. And engines used to have to run round by going onto the main, and that was really bad. So I've altered the track slightly.
This Heritage Railway brought to you by Pepsi.
All right, now we're here. I'm going to pause the game very quickly, pop to the bathroom, come back, run round. All right, so I'll be back in just another second.
Alrighty. Alright, I'm now in charge of the live stream again, so I would just like to remind everybody watching the stream and everybody on the playback of the stream to go ahead and go onto YouTube, search up the Blue K2 on YouTube, and then subscribe to that channel, please. If you do that, it's really, really cool. You'll get a free iPhone. That's not actually going to happen. You'll get a free Tesla, free of charge. It'll just show up at your house. them self-driving cars, they can self-drive right up to your garage. Again, that is a lie, but you should still do that, because if you don't do that, you're just not cool. You know that? Everybody who is cool, it was subscribed to the Blue K2. Everybody who is cool is subscribed to the Blue K2. You know, um, Donald Trump, he is. Hillary Clinton too. Joe Biden, there he's subbed. Um, the Queen, uh, she was actually, the Queen wasn't subscribed. I'll be honest. She is very cool, but she wouldn't touch my awful YouTube channel. Um, let's see. Yeah, I can't think of anybody who isn't controversial, but everybody. What I'm saying is, if you could think of the coolest person in your brain, like the absolute coolest human being that you can think of, he is subscribed to the Blue K2, or she's subscribed to the Blue K2, and everybody that you know is also going to be subscribed to the Blue K2. So you want to know what? You don't want to be that guy who is not subscribed to the Blue K2. So again, everybody go ahead, go onto YouTube, search up the Blue K2, and then subscribe to the Blue K2 on YouTube. You will not regret it. I swear to God, I'll get back to making content at some point. But in the meantime, you should all go and subscribe, because if you're not subscribed to the Blue K2, then what are you doing? You're just a loser. Come on, don't be a sucker. Go subscribe. What are you waiting for? Do it. Do it. I'm watching you. Do it. Please.
I have returned. What were you saying? Do it about?
What I was saying to do it was that everybody should go right now to TWA 1945 Studios on YouTube and subscribe.
All right, I'll watch the stream back later and see what you actually said.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we're about to. Well, this is one of my very best skills as a driver.
Viewers, you know what to
You're
do.
about to see. You're about to see the quickest run round, the quickest legally as determined by the speed limits, run round any driver has ever done. Also, limit of shunt boards are brand new.
They don't look brand new. They look they're rusty.
All right, well, they've been recently placed down.
There we go. That makes sense.
There's also a new diesel fueling area for our diesels as well.
That's sick.
The reason there isn't a proper one at Holling Vale, there is a tank, but it's not as often filled up, because this actually shares a tank with the one just across the main line on the main line diesel depot.
Very nice.
All right, there we go. Look at that perfect stuff on the turntable. Let's get round. Yeah, so the old railway sheds actually used to be here, and I knocked them down to put a new turntable in, because I don't know if you noticed, but having just a tiny little turntable like this is not good when you have engines running on the line.
Teeny tiny turntable.
It's only good for like tank engines, which we don't have many of.
I'm sorry. I have watched way too much of a certain television show. Because I look, hang on, go over there, look at that turntable. The other one.
Hang on, I'll be over there in a second. I'm just.
Because like, when you look at it, I can, I'll say it when you get over there. It's incessant. It's all I can think of when I see it.
I think I need to put a mainline service in the platform. What do we think? Adds to the realism. There we go. So next departure is in 3 minutes. So you've got 2.5 minutes basically to explain your turntable thing.
Hang on, look at the turntable. Literally, it was just this. I look at that, and I swear to God, you can almost hear the do 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 do
Oh
do
yeah.
do 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 do.
It is that sort of turntable, isn't it? You don't get that feel with the bigger ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's only these little like rinky dink, like small sort of like wooden, like tiny like branch line turntables.
Yeah. Crimson J says if you ever get Trainz Plus, you and Edward could control AI services at the same time on the Heritage Line. That would be true if this was, what is it? Can 2019 do this or just 2022?
Oh, is that a thing? I don't know. I mean,
Because I know
I
you
saw there was
can. I
something
know
about
you
like
can
Trainz
root
2022.
build.
Really?
You can multiplayer root build in Trainz 2022. I just don't know about driving. I mean, presumably you can if you can
Yeah, but
build things.
like pretty much everything, it all has to be on the DLS.
Yeah, I'd have to put it on the DLS for it, which is a shame because I'd love to do it, but you know, that's what Roblox is for.
Indeed.
But yeah, I'm gonna make some sessions so you know when people are driving on this route, um, you do have other services going in other directions. Anyway, quickly before we're due to depart, we'll just quickly see where the other engine is. There it is. It's right at the other end of the line, the DMU. So we're about to depart at 10:20, which is the right time. So we'll both leave our respective stations at the correct times and get going. Right, here we go.
Bum 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 bum.
I don't know why. I feel like just the flying kipper should be used for any LMS engine, honestly.
We were honestly we were doing really good there. We had it going.
There you go. A bit more evidence of abandoned track. You can see there's a bit there.
Mike and Junior ain't got anything on us.
There you go. Look, you can see the strip of abandoned track all the way along there. That's what I've done. I've left like little bits of information as to the history of the line around the place. There's so many tracks that you feel like you'd love to go on but can't because of issues. Yeah, Crimson J. I don't actually have Trainz 2022. This laptop can run it, but I don't.
And what is that like a feature that's specially available to Trainz Plus? How does it work? Does it mean like that like you program services like even stuff that isn't on the DLS, or like how does that work? I'm very interested because I don't have the insight to Trainz Plus, their weird new little subscription service.
I was going to say we both have Tane and well, no, you just have 2019, don't you?
No, I still have Tane.
Oh no, that's right.
I
Yeah,
just
so
don't
we
have it
both have
installed.
10 and 2019, but we don't have 2022.
Well, I mean, it was on sale for like dead cheap. It was. I almost picked
I
it
know, but
up.
that wasn't the Trainz Plus Gold.
Oh well, yeah, that's that's like a monthly subscription service.
Yeah.
I'll be damned if you catch me paying for like Trainz subscriptions. What the hell? That's so weird.
I know. I only bought. I bought a gold class ticket for 6 days just so I could download all my old stuff quicker. But once that
Uh,
expires, I'll just be back to the normal speed.
and I mean, I haven't tried, and of course, you didn't hear this from me, but if it already has, like, uh, if like the content manager already has the ability to download things at like a faster rate than it currently allows you to, and like the cap is just being placed manually for the purpose of limiting how much like data can be processed, like putting a manual cap on it, there is probably a way that you could sort of uh like mod it or like break it sort of, third party to get it to download stuff quickly.
Mm.
I haven't looked into it, but I'm sure it exists. Like, I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard. I'll look into it at some point. I didn't know that it. I honestly didn't know that there was like a manual cap for how much like can be downloaded, like for like download speeds. I mean, well, that certainly explains. I mean, I've always wondered why. Like, I have a pretty decent computer setup, so I've always wondered why. Like, I like set up a a big old download, and it takes like 3 days.
Mm. Crimson J says it works like a Roblox studio. You can turn any route into a server of 6 to 8 people.
Is that just with like DLS content? There's no way. That's crazy.
But anyone who joins, you can either limit them to route editing, driving, or allow them to do both.
What, like a Google Doc file or like a Drive file?
Presumably. I have
Interesting.
actually seen videos of people laying track while a train's going by, driven by one of their friends.
That's so weird.
So it would be cool to do one day, but I think we'd all need like high-end computers to run it.
If that's not limited to DLS content, then that's crazy. Like, that's huge.
But imagine like all like 5 or 6 of us from the main 6 running on this route. Imagine the chaos.
It wouldn't. Yeah, I was about to say. I don't think we could though. I don't think the line's big enough to support 5 of us.
It isn't. You'd
Or
have to have at least 2 people on shunting duties, and there's not much of that to do.
we'd have to
If we
like
had working signals, then sure, but nobody would want to be signaling.
just straight off the game and once.
I feel like if we did like a
Sure.
1950s version when the colliery was still open, then I reckon we could have some people working on that.
Just straight off the game. Once your route is on the DLS, anyone can join who finds it. It's got big potential. All you need is some content and a route. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
And
but it has to be on the DLS, which is the annoying bit.
well, yeah. I mean, if it didn't, then that would be huge. But like even then, like it is still kind of cool. And I mean, I'm sure that that like once they
going onto
perfect
the wrong
that,
track.
then like non-DLS content is gonna be coming eventually. I mean, like,
Oh, come on, you Sarge. Come on. I hate this. I hate how like the AI train changes the point ahead of schedule. That's the only issue I need to work out. Speaking of the AI train, the DMU should be here soon.
but yeah, for the purposes of finishing my long-winded rant from earlier, yeah, basically, lawsuit happened, and then YouTube was forced to change the rules, and got the made for kids thing going on. And of course, there's a lot of backlash from that. Like, people in the Thomas community are very angry at YouTube, and that's understandable. They did not implement the changes the best, but I really do think that you have to hand it out to like, you have to give a little bit of appreciation to the YouTube staff, because like there have been complaints about those rule violations for literally years, and they literally held out to make any severe changes to the site, to not just the detriment of like YouTube's trustworthiness, but also like the actual detriment to children who were at risk of that predatory content on the site. Which I mean, even then, that's kind of wherever you sit on the side of that, maybe people are going to view that as a bad thing. Which I mean, obviously, I don't think anybody is going to support that sort of content existing on the site. But because of the pre-existing like issues with filtering it, there are going to be people who are saying that doing nothing is the best thing to do. Which I think that's sort of that would be a division that the Thomas community would probably have amongst us. But either way, I think you do have to sort of appreciate the YouTube staff for literally waiting to be sued to actually, implement those rule changes and, screw us all over. Like they basically waited to the last moment to do like to make those changes. Their hands were forced. Which again, I mean, outside of the Thomas community, like I do think that the changes that they made are kind of good because it's stopping, or at least for a short period of time, it did stop that sort of bad content that was like targeting young people. Of course, we're moving off of that discussion into another discussion, but that sort of content is now back on the site. Like YouTube is not free of that kind of content. It is back just with a new coat of paint. Like instead of using licensed characters, they're just using like made up internet characters that like that aren't owned by anybody. They're in the public domain. So I mean, I don't know if anybody's been listening to my dumb rants, but I just think it's interesting conversation, and I do think it's sort of
Right. Hang on. Yeah.
worth what's the word? I think it is worth discussing because it's a legitimate like discussion on like the future of YouTube and which direction things are going to go.
Oh, I didn't mean to click all the way over here. Why is this diesel just stopped?
Thank you, Crimson J21. I appreciate it.
Maybe I need to change the points for the diesel. Will it go now? Yep, it's moving now. So you see, that's the clever part about like scheduling these AI trains. If I was to change the points right here, the diesel would just stop because it thinks I'm going to enter this single track block. There it is. It's on its way now. Look how cool that is. Just see it in the distance.
Chug, along.
Once it's passed,
around.
I mean, it should be able to change the points itself, but once it's eventually passed, our signal will be.
We're also proud to be famous engines and travel through the countryside.
He's going fast, isn't he?
I told you he's chugging along. He's whizzing around.
He's just late for his lunch.
It's great to be an engine. He's driving by and he says, I say, it's great to be an engine, especially now that we've got these new union-mandated lunch breaks.
One of the things I've always wanted to do is just hop in the back of one of these coaches as a unit's going by. Oh, it's on that side. There we go.
Workers' rights are crazy, I tell you.
There we go. Let's go. We're going to be late to the station because that DMU is taking forever.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's always going to be like with this issue and like tons of other issues with YouTube. YouTube is so interesting to me because it's so popular and there are so many different subsections of content that are, being produced on the site. And of course, you have one overhead administration that's like, you know, being the boss of all of them, and all of these things being hosted on one website with like so much content being uploaded and filtered through every single day. And of course, unfortunately, with people who are going to take that sort of freedom and misuse it and use it for some truly despicable things. Like I can't go into exactly like the sort of content that I'm talking about, because this stream would get deleted probably. But like I think y'all are aware of what I'm talking about, or the sort of stuff that I mean, because I mean, there are videos about it if you go search for it, like the Elsa Gate issues and stuff like that. And that's the sort of stuff I'm talking about. That it's legitimately harmful to children, and has sometimes connections to not just like things that are harmful to children that are like downright illegal. We'll say. But like as long as YouTube exists in the form that it does, without outside regulation from like governments, which again, I mean, it's a debate on whether outside regulation from governments on YouTube is a good thing, because yes, the majority of people are going to say that that's a bad thing, because net neutrality and like wanting YouTube to be a free place where people can upload what they please without constantly getting striked down and like you know just completely trampled by like the bureaucracy of it all and the rules. But you also have to remember that like as we struggle for wanting more freedom and less oversight from YouTube, there are always going to be people who are going to take advantage of that freedom and lack of regulation and use YouTube's popularity and widespread reach with like younger audiences and general audiences, just people in general who are going to people are going to use that sort of freedom for negative things. And the only way to stop those sorts of people from using YouTube in that way is by leveling regulations, whether they be from YouTube themselves or government stepping in and regulating content. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just think that that's an interesting divide between like people on YouTube wanting freedom, but then like I think people also, especially like in the Thomas community, when people are like, "Oh, YouTube's like ruining our community and stuff," which is entirely valid. They are meddling with it and they're sort of causing trouble, but it's really just the Thomas community getting caught in the crossfire from what YouTube is actually trying to stop. Which, in general, I
Mm.
think that what they are really trying to stop is something that needs to be stopped. And truly, at the end of the day, I hate to say it, but like what they are trying to stop is vastly evil and dangerous. And if the Thomas community does get swept to the side and pushed off of YouTube to somewhere else in the pursuit of that, then like it sucks to say it, but I personally think that's gonna like it's gonna vary from person to person. You're gonna have your own opinion on it. Personally, I think that that's a sacrifice that is understandable, and that I would say that it's. I mean, obviously, I don't support it. I don't want it to be pushed off the site. I would like to continue to be here and make videos, and the community to continue to be here and make videos. But I mean, and I do think that there's a way, perhaps, that these sorts of regulations can actually target the sort of harmful content that YouTube is trying to remove without necessarily like scraping like non-harmful content that we produce under the rug as well. But if there isn't, then I mean, I think that it's a sacrifice that's worth being made. But you're always going to have that back and forth between, even with like not the Thomas community, people who want freedom and want to fight YouTube and like governments for freedom, who I think sort of forget why the governments and why YouTube are leveling these restrictions in the first place. And it is to target, bad stuff. But that's really all I had to say on the matter.
Well, it is an interesting topic, isn't it? It's like the state of what we're having to face now.
Yeah,
against regulations.
indeed. And I mean, a whole other discussion that I think is equally as interesting is just how we have advanced to a point in society where not only where we have a level of global interconnectedness that allows this to exist in the sense of YouTube in general, but also the level of societal degeneracy has gotten to where there are actually people who sit down and make that sort of disgusting, awful content that targets children in negative ways, like that there are entire industries, people who make their livelihoods off of doing that sort of stuff, and it's brain rot to the next generation. Well, not only is it brain rotting to the next generation, like some people who make those content are not just they're not good people in the sense of they're not just trying to profit off of children by giving them brain rot and content that is harmful to their development. Of course, you have people that are literally out to actively exploit children in a more illegal sense.
All right,
Just
I'm just going to interrupt
degeneracy.
you very, very
Yeah.
quickly to say I think we're going to be late for the next train.
Are we behind schedule?
Nearly. The next train's due to leave in like 1 minute, and we're not even on the turntable. Because of that bloody DMU.
You could go backwards.
Hmm?
You could travel backwards at speed.
I could, but it's stupid too. I'm already speeding now, actually. I shouldn't be doing it. I mean, I did have to do it before I put in these new turntables, but now I actually have a turntable capable. It's kind of bad too. There we go. Up away, you idiot. Go on. Get moving. Come on. We're going to be late. These bigger engines always causing problems.
I have a lot of these big engines. Yeah, society is crazy. Like every day I wake up and I look at the world today and I just think, wow, how are we here?
You see, my original plan with this service was to swap engines as well, but seeing as we arrived late, we've got no choice but to drive with what we've got. If I can get it to balance on the turntable, right? Come on, Gordon. There we go. Yeah, my plan was to get another engine to take the next train, but seeing as we're 30 seconds behind schedule, that's not going to be the case.
And of course, yeah, now we're here. We have officially made it to exit to the old live streams. Me getting all philosophical while you're just trying to be normal and be like,
Well, I'm just trying to make sure the trains run.
yeah, exactly. Getting all philosophical, like, how did we get here? This is how I remember it being. Although I like to think that the duality makes things interesting because, like, at the very least, with these sorts of topics, we come here, we entertain people with awesome trains, and like just railways being awesome as they always are. And then I also like to, I like, I like to think, I hope that the discussions that we have on stream, like, I my mission with every piece of content that I'm a part of, or every piece of that, well, certainly with every piece of content that I make, but also with every piece of content that I'm a part of, is just to, at the very least, afterwards, to leave the viewer with something to think on. Just like an interesting topic to leave, just to leave at the very least, leave for food for thought. And evidently, I'm succeeding, as Crimson J21 says that he has found what I've been talking about quite interesting. I remember those compliments, like basically every compliment that I get from these live streams. Like I remember them, and I think back to them on days where I'm feeling down, and I think like, That dude probably doesn't even remember giving me that compliment, but I remember.
Oh, come on. There we go. All right, we ready to go, Mr. Guard? We're 3 minutes behind schedule.
Aye, aye.
All right, before we do, I'm just going to go set that AI train to come all the way back, otherwise it's going to be in our block later on. Oh my god, it's just leaving Paisley Station. Are you joking? It's really running behind schedule now.
Blood is late.
Right, let's have a look. Where's it going? Trillbrook Junction, platform 1 north. Wait for 5 seconds. You don't even get to wait the proper 10 minutes. You're running late. And then head to Paisley Station, platform 1. Head to platform station. Head to station 2.
Head to platform station.
There we go. And then
That's a bloody stupid name for a station, don't you think?
drive to navigate to platform 1, and then
Welcome to platform station, platform 2.
From there, that'll be the end of its duties, so it will head to. Well, I'll set it to unload, not load, and then drive to Holling Vale MPD lane. Lane 2's free. You can have lane 2. There we go. So now it's going to run right to the other end of the line, come all the way back, and then go park in the shed because I don't want to deal with it on the line anymore.
Lovely stuff.
It's also in the schedule. The late train only has 3, so technically it's actually operating to the correct schedule that I wrote out. So this is going great so far. Did you see the schedules that I uploaded, Edward?
Sorry, what now?
Did you see the schedules that I uploaded in the group chat?
No, I don't think so. Hang on.
Because I actually uploaded a proper timetable to run trains to on this line. If anyone wants the full experience, the timetables will be included in the payware release files as well. They're in the Trainz chat if you're interested.
I'm checking them out. Oh, here we are. Oh, nice.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if you heard that. That was Brenda.
You get a tea resupply?
Yes.
I figured.
He's asking me to come look at something that he's been working on this morning. And I said, I'm really, really sorry. I'm kind of driving a train live on YouTube.
That is such a weird conversation to have.
And he was like, no, it'll only take 1 minute. And I was like, I'm really, really sorry, but I can't leave a train unattended for any longer than a minute because God knows what will happen. It's like, imagine the driver, like you're the fireman of this engine, and the driver just goes, right, I'm just going to go head into the coaches for a lie down, and then just leaves the train. But yeah, I reckon we'll have to call and end this stream soon enough.
Alrighty.
I said I'd only go for an hour, and I reckon it's been an hour now, I think.
It has been an hour and a half.
Yeah, so I think an hour and hour and 50 minutes, I reckon. Maybe even 2 hours. We'll leave it at that for today because I did go into this only wanting to do an hour.
Hitting the
This year.
2 hour mark would be nice. We haven't. We usually used to hit the 2 hour mark. I think.
I was looking through the history of all the live streams, and one of them hit 4.5 hours, and that's crazy.
Jesus Christ. I'd like to. I I wish we could go back to doing them weekly. That was fun. But I reckon that we wouldn't be able to keep up with it.
No, especially with like all the stuff that I'm up to this year.
Indeed.
But maybe monthly. Monthly would be good.
Mm. The
Maybe on
second
the
Tuesday of
last day
every
of
month. I said the second Tuesday of every month.
the second Tuesday of every month. Maybe the Friday because
Yeah,
as far as my
Tuesday sucks.
no, as far as my uni schedule is concerned, I don't actually have anything on a Friday,
Well, that'd be perfect.
which is great. I'm literally only in for 3 days a week because Monday I've only got a 1 hour class.
We can talk about this later. Nobody cares about scheduling. We got to be interesting.
All right. Well, speaking of which, did you actually see the timetable?
Yeah, yes, I did see the timetables.
Yeah, I'll be putting them up on the stream in a minute, Crimson, if you're interested.
Yeah, our one viewer. God bless you, Crimson. He's been here like the whole time. He's been the single
Yeah.
viewer. He's a
Although
real one.
I'm looking at my phone and it says we have 4 people, but he's the only one who's
Oh,
writing.
wait, we have 4 people. That's crazy.
So
Hello, 4 folks.
thank you
God
for
bless.
engaging with us, Crimson, because we'd just be sat here bored.
Indeed. Well, God bless all the viewers, though, honestly, for returning to us, especially you, Crimson, for saying hello in the chat. I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Can't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morn. Can't you hear the captain shouting? Dinah, blow your horn. Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? It's actually like a song about it, like that follows that tune that isn't that tune, or that isn't the song. It's um
We'll just see
what
quickly where that DMU is at. Felipe, there he is.
okay.
He's definitely not Sean because Sean's the one on the main line. So Felipe, the DMU, is at the station and will be heading back shortly. So when we get to Plysley, we'll have to wait like 10 minutes for him to get here. Imagine how embarrassing that must be for the DMU driver having a steam-hauled service beat you to the station every time.
That would be pretty embarrassing.
You're driving, what was the replacement mode of traction. And even now in the 1990s, a steam engine driver just is beating you to every station. I've actually, considering we left Holling Vale 3 minutes early, we're actually going to be on time into Plysley. This is what I find very fun about the whole, this whole route, is that the way I've laid out all the stations is that there isn't an exact, not exact, there is an exact time, but there isn't a similar gap between all the stations. There's 3 minutes between Holling Vale and Retley. There's about 5 to 6 minutes, 7 minutes from Retley to Plysley. And then from Plysley to Chilbrook Junction, it's about 10 minutes. So that's how I've had to work out the schedule. And I've realized over time, after doing many like test sessions kind of like this, with 2 trains running, that the only way to get the trains to successfully cross each other is here at Plysley. You can do it further down the line, like we did there, where I was waiting at the junction for the DMU to come over. But the thing is that if I'd set those points for my line and crossed them first, that DMU would have had to wait there for me, which I should have done in the first place to not be so late. But I think we are actually still going to be late into Holling Vale now, because we need to be at Holling Vale within 10 minutes. But if you would have seen on the schedule, Edward, when there's 2 trains running, on the 3rd service there is a 10-minute delay extra at Holling Vale. So technically, Holling Vale and Trilbrook from both trains, and that's just to build up any time that has been lost from the.
And that's on the double train timetable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, based upon the way this has been going, given that the fact the next service should be leaving at, I think, what was it, 11:10? I don't actually have the schedule in front of me, which I should have done to keep to time, but I think it should be 11:10.
For what now?
For the 2nd train of the day. 3rd train of the day. Hang on. I'll find Discord on there. There it is. I'm just trying not to leave the train stream. So. Oh, Riley just messaged me back saying that he wants to join the stream, but he sent it about an hour ago and I missed it.
Oh. Ask him if he's still interested.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
But yeah, the tune was "The Eyes of Texas Are Upon You," which I don't know what that's about, but I guess Texas, Mother Texas watches her sons. Trust.
Yeah, the timetable. So I've got the timetable up now. So technically, we need to arrive, if we're 1st service, this is our 2nd trip up there, 11:20 is our arrival time. So
Okay.
honestly, we actually do have time to just sit here and wait for the DMU. Because if we need to arrive at the station by 10:20, well, once the DMU comes, I'm pretty sure we'll make it in time. Where is the DMU at? Felipe, where are you? On the way. Cool. We're Graham, by the way, if anyone's wondering.
Brilliant.
Graham and Felipe in charge of the trains for today.
Lovely stuff.
So technically, if I get this right, which I haven't actually. God, we're massively behind schedule. No, we aren't. Hang on. What have I done? We left properly at 10 o'clock. We got to Trilbrook for 10:20. We left at 10:30. We arrived at 10:50. 11 o'clock. Oh, you know what? That's actually my fault. We weren't supposed to leave Holling Vale until 11 o'clock.
Womp womp.
So actually, we're running way earlier than we were supposed to be. So the DMU is actually on time. I feel bad now for shunning the DMU driver.
Now he's driving a smelly engine. He's kind of like, I don't know.
Well, the crossover at Plysley is supposed to take place at 11:10, so 10 past 11. So technically, he should be here for 10 past 11. So, which I think he will be. So there we go. So he's actually running to schedule, which is really funny, actually. I feel so bad now. This looks really bad on me because I was just making fun of the diesel driver, and he's actually keeping to the schedule. totally wasn't me that left Holling Vale 15 minutes early. Totally.
Indeed.
Imagine that you're late. You miss your train because the driver left 15 minutes early.
Yeah, like they're always like, I mean, hey, it brings whole new meaning. If you're not early, you're late. Because this time, if you're not early, you will miss your train.
Yeah. No, I think what went wrong, because I wasn't looking at the timetable, which I should have been. I was thinking of 10:50 departure, 10:40 departure as the time the diesel would be leaving Trillbrook. So I actually got that wrong. So we're actually so ahead of schedule. Honestly, it's strangely, it's embarrassing but funny at the same time. Anyway, there's the diesel in the distance. I don't know if you can see it. You can just about see it over there. And that this is its last trip of the day, which is happening an hour earlier than it was supposed to be. So I don't know what went wrong there. The next stream we do, we'll try and work out those issues and actually, I'll actually run to the timetable. Because I think I got a little bit carried away with the whole pace of the thing.
He was too speedy.
I actually think that's really funny. But even so, that just shows that steam power is way better, because even with my slight
Indeed.
delay, we still got to this station way earlier than we were supposed to. In the schedule, this diesel's supposed to arrive first, and then we come into the station. So, oh well. There we go. Look, our point's green. How good's that?
Might as well just say, like, forget his passengers and just gun it.
I think we will. Let's go.
Just to screw him over, like, one
It's
last.
an express engine on the branch line. What else were we supposed to do with it? Is this guy going to overshoot
Exactly.
the platform again? Because I actually stopped correctly this time. He is. He's overshooting the platform.
Yeah, his
What
passengers.
about overshooting? He's gone straight through the
Yeah, he's
station.
gone. He is gone.
Well, fair enough. He must think he's late because we're already at the station. Oh well. Let's get going. I think when we get to Trillbrook, I think we'll call it a close for the stream today. Because I don't really feel like doing any route building at the minute, because I spent a whole day yesterday doing that. Again, I've also promised Graham that I'll come and see what he wants to show me. And then what was I saying? I also think it might be getting boring for the 4 people watching, just seeing us go back and forth up and down the line all day. I certainly enjoy it, but I know a lot of people just get sick of seeing the same engine going up and down the line. I mean, that's why I initially planned, when I was planning the stream, I was initially planning that loco swap over, which actually, that's another point. When you realise that we weren't supposed to leave Holling Vale until now, there was actually time in the schedule for me to swap locos, wasn't there? Like, I could have run back to the depot and swapped over my loco by now, but I didn't. So, there were a lot of things that went wrong with that. Next stream will definitely follow the timetable, which I will just save to the desktop quickly and put up on the stream so everyone can see it. Well, I'll put up on the stream once I can. I'll have to stop at the station and close the Trainz window before I can do that.
Hey up.
Hello, back from the drink.
Well, I'm back from my drink. I have acquired the drink.
Back from acquiring your drink.
Yeah, there you are.
But yeah, as I was saying, I don't know if you heard, Edward. I've just realised that because we weren't meant to depart Holling Vale until 2 minutes ago, I did actually have time in the schedule to go and swap my engine over for the Southern Railways one.
Oh yeah, you could have done that because you were sitting there on the platform for ages.
No, not that platform, Holling Vale's platform, the tunnel.
Oh right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, because remember the rush to get up and coupled up and go because we were 3 minutes late?
Oh yeah.
We weren't 3 minutes late, we were like 20 minutes early, so I definitely could have just, run round on the turntable, shut over to the depot, swapped the loco over, and then coupled up and went. And I still would have beaten the DMU. I still would have beat the DMU to Whitesley. I'm also cruising at only half the line speed because we're not supposed to get to Trillbrook until 11:20. So we're 17 minutes ahead of schedule. How wild is that?
Quite wild indeed.
I feel like 23 miles an hour is a nice cruising pace.
I usually have the engines. I hate I hate it when numbers are not correct. So I always have them go at like 25. Like I hate the number 23. It's so imperfect, you know?
Oh, yeah, well, if I try and get it up to 25, it'll
Yeah,
shoot
it'll
past
go
me
over.
to
It'll go
27 or
over.
20.
Yeah.
This engine likes to cruise at 50. Like I can bring it up to 50 and leave it there for a good
Well, that's
long
because it's an
time.
express engine. It wants to go. You have to hold it back.
I know.
Henry won't need. Henry, what's it? Henry won't need Henry won't need cocaine, sir. I'll have to hold him back. Make sure to give him plenty of methamphetamine, driver. Fireman, sorry. Henry won't need methamphetamine, so I'll have to hold him back. Ah, yes. Now I'm truly back to my old 2019 self. Drug jokes. Indeed,
Notice
because
how I actually got the electronic signals to work as well. Right, there we go. We'll stop here for a minute and I'll just test the signals with this diesel because I've been meaning to do it for a while. So if we change the points up ahead, there we go. You see up there?
Mm-hmm.
The feather has lit up. This is the feather, and it shows that the points have set to go on the other track.
That's cool.
So the feather actually works. Hang on, we'll just head over there now. I just realised I could do that. So the feather lights up. I don't know if it would. No, it doesn't do anything over there because there's no. Oh my god, I'm changing all the points now. This is bad. That's the wrong one. Christ, come on. There we go. And then that needs to go. Why am I changing all the bloody points? Come on. There we go. That one. I want that one. Anyway. Yeah. See?
Yeah.
And it's actually really cool how it works. Then you have, just like the distance signal, it's yellow, which means the next one along is red. And it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you better stop there, otherwise you've got a one-way ticket to the center of the earth. I feel like the drug humor just doesn't slap like it did in 2019. It's just a little bit. It's just a little bit too real now. Like there have been so many like drug related incidents in the like especially in my area. Like I I live in Texas, which is very very close to the border, and there's a lot of we have some like the Texas Mexico border. We get up to some shenanigans, you know. We do a little goofing and gaffing with the federal government, and those jokes, they just quite literally they hit a little too close to home, they're just a little bit too real these days.
Just to change the subject very quickly.
Good idea.
No, not like to withdraw from your statements, but I'm actually really looking forward to building the main line up to the north of Norling.
That would be epic. Yes.
The only thing is, when I build it, I'm sure it'll be extremely like.
What are you doing? Are you just ramming this engine into with the one-way ticket to the center of the earth?
No, I'm going to bring it to a stop if I can. Come on, brakes, emergency brakes. Come on.
Maybe he thought he was. He thought. No way.
Oh, so close.
I was literally about to say you should count your lucky stars, but there will be no counting because there are no stars to count. You fucked it up, buddy.
I mean, that was close, though. I did pretty well to stop where I did.
Yeah, that was. I really thought. I thought you were gonna get it. I really thought you were gonna have it.
But yeah. Anyway, when I build the whole length of the main line, what I'm gonna do, because it'll be payware again, obviously, but what it'll do is it'll have this same baseboard from the Holling Vale Heritage Railway with nothing changed, except you won't be able to go down the Holling Vale Heritage Railway. Like beyond the bridge, the viaduct, the line will just end to save space, like loading space, because you'll be on the main line, which also, look, I've got glowing stop signs. You'll be able
you just trying to make me feel shit about my neighborhood, or
along this way instead. What?
Was it? I was making a joke because you said we got glowing stop signs. I said, you just trying to make me feel shit about my neighborhood or what? Because stops. We have normal stop signs.
Well, no, I put them there because of the railway. Anyway.
Well, I know, it's just dumb humor.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
I wasn't serious. I mean, I don't really know of any stop signs for the road that glow. I was just joking.
Oh, right. Well, moving on. Where was I? Yeah, so you'll be able to go down the full length of the line. I reckon I'll have it set in the 90s as well, because that will just be, late 80s to the 90s will be like just the theme for the whole railway. Obviously, for certain routes, I'll do like different time periods, like this one. Like anything with historical value, like this line, will be done in different eras. Also, just look how cool that looks. Just that whole yard.
Yeah, that looks so. It looks so well detailed. Like I feel like this. Like if you still had your old computer, like having this like all in one frame would make it lag. But like this is buttery smooth. making the new upgrade to this computer was definitely a good idea for you. Like this is
Oh
like
yeah,
it looks
considering
so
that
good.
everything used to look like that on my old laptop,
Yeah. Wait, how did you change? How did you change that?
just with these
Oh,
settings
oh,
up.
your render distance. Yes. Like have it like I don't think on your old laptop you would have been able to have it all the way up like that and have this full view.
Oh no, no, and the frame rate would be awful. But look how smooth this is.
Indeed. It's butter.
Yeah, so this line here, this is actually an interesting section, this depot. I've tried to make it as difficult as possible for you to actually do shunting movements here.
Nice.
Because basically this is what is the end to a industrial branch. And you can see there's only one line there because this line was meant to serve the north of Norland up this bit rather than go south. So everything was, that way intentionally. Um, and the line actually is used as just like a back shunt, a head shunt. I mean, not a back shunt, a head shunt. So you can actually take stock all the way up the line and then back it into the depot. But once upon a time, the line used to go round here, which it still does now, obviously, but it used to go past this bridge, as evident by the fact that it's got a new limit of shunt sign, but the buffers are there. There's a bridge over the the motorway, not highway, motorway, um, and it's been taken out to avoid it, collapsing on the top of the cars. So it's definitely not a line that will be back in service anytime soon.
My anxiety is just telling me that Neville is about to come barreling down the line.
Oh, I know. I did actually put him on there when I built the bridge to see if it was possible to get him to get right up to the edge and then go off. But yeah, I just like like structures like this. Like you could tell it's got some history, but it's just not used anymore.
Yeah, like with the
But
trees growing so close to the bridge, which like usually they like cut down trees that are too close. But
yeah,
like like the fact that they're and like the trees that are right up next to it are all sort of little trees that implies that like it was abandoned like not too long ago, but still pretty long ago.
yeah, I'd say it would be probably 70s, 60s or 70s. This would have been abandoned. So it had only been abandoned for about probably 20, 25 years. So not long. Not long given when the Holling Vale Heritage Railway closed. That was 1963.
Just long
So
enough for some baby trees to sprout up.
yeah, I've got a few around the place. I've got one of these stumps that was like cut down. Yeah, would have been cut down when the line was still open.
Stub.
To clear the track up, but then
By the way, the
these would have
stream
been
is at 1 hour 58 minutes and 26 seconds. By the way,
1 hour 58 minutes.
yes, 58.
Oh, so we'll definitely have to end in just a minute. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So I hope to continue this line because it is to the docks. Because obviously, if the island's north up that way, the rest of it's that way. The sea is just over here, so this is a line to the dock side. And yeah, so eventually, I do hope to have the whole main line done. But again, the line will just end. I think if I stop it correctly, the line will just end probably about here, right here, halfway through the tunnel. So it'll be like a nice scenic divider, like in a model railway. So I hope to get it done eventually, but the Holling Vale Heritage Railway is my port of call.
Oh, well, you're near. It's like nearly complete, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very nearly done.
Indeed, it'll be completed, and then you can get it on the DLS, and then all of you lovely people can enjoy it for a small fee.
Yeah, for about, I reckon, we'll talk pricing next stream because we've only got 20 seconds left to go. But anyway, have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today.
Seriously, after all this time, I was not expecting to even get one person here. But the fact that like some of you lot have like actually
5 seconds, Edward, pick up the
come
pace.
oh bugger. The fact that you've all come back to watch us like really means a lot to me because I really didn't think we were gonna get anybody. Thank you so much for coming. We will be back at some point. Again, thank you all for coming. It means a lot. Bye. God save the Queen. King.
Okay. Thanks everyone for coming, and well, we'll see you next month if we decide to keep this thing going. All right, see you all. Well, see you all next time. Goodbye.
God save the king.